Mr. Walker has reported that several valuable items are missing from his suite. The moment Grace Sullivan walked into her manager's office, she knew something was wrong. Gerald Thompson wouldn't meet her eyes. A security guard stood in the corner. "Grace, we need to talk about Suite 2401, Gerald began, his voice tight. "What about it?" "Mr. Walker has reported a designer watch, cash from his wallet, and custom cufflinks are missing." The floor shifted beneath her feet. "I didn't take anything." "You were the only staff member with access to his room this morning." "I cleaned his room like I clean every room. I didn't touch anything." Gerald shifted uncomfortably. "Mr. Walker is threatening to post about this on his social media. He has 8 million followers. He's saying if we don't take immediate action, he'll destroy the hotel's reputation. Management has decided we have no choice but to let you go, effective immediately." The words hit like a physical blow. "You're firing me? Without any investigation, without any proof?" "I'm sorry, Grace. It's a business decision. We can't afford—" "You can't afford justice." Her voice rose. "I've worked here for 12 years, 12 years without a single complaint, and you're firing me because some spoiled influencer made an accusation? The decision is final. Security will escort you out." This is the story of a woman who proved that integrity doesn't depend on your bank account. If you believe truth must win out over influence, subscribe and click the bell, because you need to see how this fight ends. Grace cleaned out her locker in silence, hands shaking with rage and humiliation. Other housekeepers watched with sympathy and fear. If it could happen to Grace, it could happen to any of them. For 3 days, Grace barely left her small apartment. She sat on the couch processing the injustice. Her 16-year-old daughter, Emily, brought her tea she didn't drink. "Mom, you have to fight this," Emily insisted. "You didn't do anything wrong." "Fight what?" Grace's voice was hollow. "He has 8 million followers. The hotel has lawyers. I have nothing." But the truth was, Grace's silence was about fear. Fear that, if she fought back, these powerful people would crush her completely. On the 4th day, Emily came home from school with her phone. "Mom, you need to see this." She showed Grace an Instagram account called Voices of the Voiceless, run by Nina Hayes. The profile shared stories of working women who'd faced injustice. The videos were simple, women telling their stories directly to the camera. No fancy production, just truth. "You should reach out to her," Emily said. "Tell your story." Grace's first instinct was to refuse. Who would care? But something Emily said next changed everything. "Mom, you always taught me never to bow to anyone. You said the truth matters more than power. Were you lying? Or are you going to prove it? If you're still here, thank you." If stories like this resonate with you, please consider hitting that like button. It truly helps us share more stories about ordinary people fighting extraordinary injustice. That night, Grace sent a direct message to the account. Nina Hayes replied within hours. She'd been a hotel worker too, fired after reporting harassment. They talked on the phone for an hour. "I'm ready," Grace said. They filmed the video in Grace's tiny living room. No makeup, no script, just Grace on her worn couch telling the truth. She talked about her 12 years at the Grand Meridian, about the morning she was accused of theft with no evidence, no investigation, about being fired to appease an influencer's threat. "I didn't take anything from that room," she said, looking directly at the camera, "but they took everything from me, my job, my reputation, because I'm nobody and he's somebody, because his followers matter more than my honesty." Her voice broke slightly. "I'm 51 years old. I raised my daughter alone on a housekeeper's salary, and I've never taken anything that wasn't mine, not once." She paused, gathering strength. "I don't have millions of followers. I don't have money for fancy lawyers, but I have the truth. And I refuse to be silent while powerful people destroy lives without consequences." Nina posted the video that night. Within 24 hours, 500,000 views. Then 2 million. 5 million. News outlets picked it up. Housekeeper fired after influencer's baseless accusation speaks out. Lawyers offered to take her case pro bono. A civil rights attorney, Margaret Chen, reached out with a proposition. Let's sue. Not just for wrongful termination, but for defamation. They destroyed your reputation. Let's make them pay. Grace thought of Emily's words. Let's do it, she said. The lawsuit filed against the Grand Meridian Hotel, and Bryce Walker sent shockwaves through social media. Grace was demanding not just back pay, but significant damages. She wanted a public apology. The hotel's lawyers tried to settle quietly. Grace refused. I want them to admit what they did, on record. Bryce Walker posted a video claiming he was the real victim. His comment section turned against him. You ruined a woman's life with no proof. This is what privilege looks like. His follower count started dropping. Sponsors began distancing themselves. The trial became national news. Grace walked in wearing her best dress, holding Emily's hand. The hotel's lawyers argued business necessity. Margaret Chen demolished them. You had to investigate. You chose not to. You fired a 12-year employee with an impeccable record based solely on an accusation from a guest you were afraid would hurt your image. That's not business necessity. That's cowardice. She presented Grace's employment record. 12 years, not a single complaint. Then she called an expert witness who'd examined Bryce Walker's social media history. Mr. Walker has a pattern of making dramatic accusations against service workers, always leveraging his follower count to demand compensation. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. We find in favor of the plaintiff, Grace Sullivan. We award damages in the amount of $850,000 plus court costs. We further order the defendants to issue a public apology. The courthouse erupted. Grace sat frozen, unable to process the number. $850,000. Outside, reporters swarmed. Grace stood on the courthouse steps. This isn't just about me, she told the cameras. This is about every worker who's been thrown away because someone with money and power decided they were disposable. This is about a system that values followers over facts. She looked directly at the camera. I'm nobody special. I'm just a woman who cleans hotel rooms, but I refuse to be silent. And I want every person watching this to know you don't have to be rich or famous to demand justice. You just have to tell the truth and refuse to back down. The video of her courthouse statement went more viral than the first. Bryce Walker's influencer career never recovered. The Grand Meridian Hotel issued the required apology and changed its policies. But Grace's story didn't end there. With the settlement money, she opened her own hotel. 20 rooms, modest, but immaculately clean. She called it Sullivan House. She hired other women like her, single mothers, immigrants, women who'd been marginalized. She paid them well and treated them with respect. No guest, she told them, no matter how famous, gets to disrespect you. We serve with pride, but we bow to no one. The Sullivan House became known for its integrity. 3 years after the lawsuit, Grace had expanded to 40 rooms. She and Nina now co-ran the Voices of the Voiceless platform. On the anniversary of her firing, Grace stood in her hotel lobby. Emily, now a hospitality management graduate, worked beside her. Do you ever regret it? Emily asked. Fighting back when it was easier to stay quiet? Grace thought about those 3 days on the couch, paralyzed by fear. The only thing I'd regret, she said, is teaching you that silence is safer than truth. I refused to let them make me nothing, and that made all the difference. What did you think of Grace's courage? Let us know in the comments below, and please help us share more stories like this by reaching our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the year's end. Thank you for watching.